Hello everybody and welcome back to the King Fox channel. My name's Matt Conager and I'm building a Kit Fox Series 7 STI. So what am I doing? I'm bouncing around on a trampoline because it makes me feel good. So what I like to do is get up in the morning, come down here and hit the Jump Sport Fitness trampoline. Gets the body moving, shakes up all my cellulars and gets everything rocking and rolling, gets my head into the game. So today's video is not brought to you by Jump Sport Trampoline. I just like using it. Let's get into the video. It's time for a little coffee break. After all that filing, guy needs a little Colombian to keep you going. So in that last time lapse, I got this top T cut out pretty well. Got it to radii filed down to what I think looks like a nice looking T. I'll show you again. There's kind of a pre-struck or pre-marked T in there. There were 3 of them. And since I chose the best part of this fairing, because the end of it was a little less, it had a little less fit and finish to it, I guess. So I came down a little bit from the top, chopped that off, and then I used that as my new reference. And I just laid a piece of tracing paper over the top of these T's, marked a straight line along the edge of them where they intersect, and then I just moved them up to where my new position was going to be, and cut them out with the Dremel tool. And this one's, I've started filing on this. You can see how ragged that is in there. You just kind of have to hack away at it, and then this files down and sands very nicely. I do some woodworking and I like the results that I get on the fiberglass when sanding it, or filing it. So I try to use the file to take some of these jagged edges off and get me a nice straight edge, and then I just come back in. I've been using some 400 grit sandpaper, and it smooths it up very nice, doesn't leave any rough edges, and I think it's going to give me some nice relief cuts to get in there to adjust those ball joints as needed. So I'm going to get back into this. Let's get going. So we'll take a look at this trailing edge of the horizontal, or the vertical stabilizer. I've got it epoxied on here to the ribs, to the back, my cutouts for the bolts and the welds. See that it goes right up to the top of the tube there. And I do have some small ridges here from where this rib transitions down. It catches right there a little bit, and same way on pretty much all of them. I thought I had it a little closer because I did bring the Dremel tool back around and I dug into these a little bit more. That one's almost flush, this one, but moving down, this one you can really see that it sticks out. Probably not from that angle, maybe from here. You can see that it sticks out. Same with down here. So maybe I can put some filler in there. Not sure. We'll figure that stuff out later. And I might hit the outside of this with a little bit of sandpaper because you can feel some of the bubbles. I don't know if that'll show up in the skin, assuming the skin's gonna stick to this and pull it tight. So as I was doing the leading edge of the rudder, like this has got a pretty good lip on it right there. Probably some fiberglass that's just sticking out. So there's some rough edges here. I'll just knock those down with some 400 or some 250, something like that. That way it doesn't poke through the fabric, and I might round those off just a little bit. Don't know if it's necessary, but I'm going to be putting that foam cap in up here and transitioning that in. So anyway, the least amount of fine tuning I have to do later on, I'm going to try to do that. So looking at the top of these ribs up here, you can see that there's a little bit of an indentation in, and that's where the fairing will fit over here. And I might take those down a little bit more so that I don't have finish work to do later on. Try to put some Bondo on there or whatever it takes to get the fabric to flow smoothly over the rib and over the fairing. So I could hit all of those with the Dremel quickly, and it'll save me time later on. So we'll get our workbench cleaned off so we can start to do the prep for that. Coming over here, we can see that the fairing, the leading edge of the rudder is much thinner than the trailing edge of the horizontal stabilizer. And I did touch these up a little bit. There's a bit of a lip there. I can hit that with some more sandpaper. Make it as smooth as possible. I went over the outside of this. Had a lot of little divots and bumps in it. And right here's some of these pocks stuck up a little bit like goosebumps. So I hit those with a little bit of 400 grit. And right here I've got kind of a crater. And I assume that fabric is going to find all those little holes and pull in there. So I might either try to fill that with some sort of resin or just sand it smooth. One or the other. But overall, it feels quite smooth. Even up here at the top. On the inside there, you can see the roughness. And that's why I didn't stick with these marks, and I chose to move down because I think it was longer than it was up at the top. So I found the better parts of the fiberglass, and then I cut off the pieces that had a little worse finish to them. Here they are. Now you can see right there how, not that that would have mattered because it's on the inside, but overall that guy's pretty thick compared to this guy. Pretty thin. Same with the sidewalls, you can see that. Quite a bit thicker than the leading edge of the rudder. So won't have to cut those ribs as much. So that's going to wrap up today's episode. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the little bell for future notifications so you don't miss any good videos like this when they come out. So thanks for watching, stay tuned, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Goodbye.